A Chinese missile just left the rail. The carrier group has seconds to respond. Tonight we break down the first strike that planners fear: DF-21D from land, YJ-21 from sea, KD-21 from air. You'll see how a hypersonic glide can slip through the gaps, and what SM-6, Aegis, and Growlers do in the first minute. Does the flight deck stay alive, or does one hit set the Pacific on fire? Stay for the minute-by-minute duel that decides the next decade. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. One hit to the flight deck ends launches and traps jets in the air. You don't need a kill shot on the hull if a single crater turns the runway into scrap. Why aim to cripple instead of sink? Because power lives on the deck, not the keel. The carrier is a flying radar, a strike arm, and a command post strapped to a moving airport. Its air wing builds the sensor picture, throws long-range punches, and holds the calm spine that ties the group together. When that airport runs, the region listens. When it stops, the group's reach shrinks and the clock turns against you. China built a spear for that exact weak point.
That records and publicizes Chinese ship movements in the disputed areas. Sealight has charted a massive build-up since the summer of 2023. He now runs a maritime monitoring unit at Stanford University.
From land, DF-21D and DF-26 draw arcs that end at sea. From the water, YJ-21 comes off launchers on surface ships. From the air, KD-21 rides in from H-6 bombers. Different bearings, different speeds, one idea: get there first, from more than one axis, and force the carrier to choose which threat to meet. The first strike logic is simple and ruthless. Break the deck and you blind the group's eyes that fly above it. Strip sortie tempo and the carrier strike group shifts into defense, pausing the reason it sailed in the first place. Keep them fixing damage, juggling tracks, and saving interceptors, and the initiative moves ashore. DF-21D is the point of the lance. It isn't a dumb arc. A maneuvering re-entry vehicle rides the fall, taking updates on the way, then knifes down in the terminal to meet a moving ship. That's how a ballistic path becomes a precision hammer, updates mid-course, then a guided dive that aims at the deck, not the waterline. The shape of the attack matters. A steep terminal angle aims for the runway, arresting gear, and elevator crowns. From the sea layer, YJ-21 adds speed and glide. Launched from standoff, it comes in fast enough to squeeze radar loops and fire control timing. Flight path tweaks force defenders to commit early or late, and both are bad. It doesn't give you clean tracks. It gives you stress. And stress causes thin salvos, early shots, and gaps. From the air layer, KD-21 widens geometry. H-6 bombers can throw these from far out, opening long timing windows while the group still sorts bearings. Air-launched ballistic profiles can arrive with a different rhythm, building false tracks that pull sensors and shooters off the main push. A two-beat attack works: one wave sets the board, the next hits the soft spot. A spear is nothing without eyes. So the enablers stitch the ocean into a targeting map. Over-the-horizon radar cues a rough box. Satellites refine it with movement lines. Maritime patrol aircraft nudge the aim with fresh vectors. Passive sensors listen for the carrier's noise, radar side lobes, data link chatter, even emissions from escorts, and push those cues back into the fire control chain. Layer enough inputs and the salvos arrive with intent.
The payoff isn't a cinematic sink. It's deck denial. A smashed strip stops launches. Torn non-skid scars tires. Shrapnel cuts fuel lines and disables elevators. The air wing goes silent while crews drag hoses, foam, and chains. When planes can't leave, the carrier's threat shrinks to the horizon line. That is the spear, reach, timing, and pressure on the runway itself. But then comes the shield, built to take a hit without folding, to keep the deck breathing while the group fights for tempo. 60 seconds. That's all the carrier group gets when a DF-21D arcs down and a YJ-21 cuts in from the C flank. 2 threats. 2 speeds. 1 deck that can't go silent. What would you do? The shield wakes fast. Aegis spins up the picture and pushes tracks to every shooter. Outer ring goes hot with SM-6, then SM-2 behind it. Inside, ESSM sits cold but ready, and CIWS waits for the knife fight. EA-18G Growlers widen the bubble with jamming. Virginia-class subs push out, hunting the hands that threw the spear. Everyone takes a slice of the sky. No one sees the whole thing. Now the time squeeze hits. Hypersonic glide bends the YJ-21's path just enough to foul timing. The ballistic body above it slews in terminal and starts to hunt. Decoys throw phantom blips. Noise fills the net. Fire control splits across bearings and altitudes. Each second you wait cleans up a track but risks a leaker. Each early shot trades certainty for time. The detection duel swings like a gate. Space cues give the first line. Airborne sensors refine azimuth and speed. Aegis fuses it, sorts by threat behavior, and tags which shooters have the best look. Meanwhile Growlers pour power into the cone where Seekers will wake, trying to blind the last mile. Escorts throttle emissions, trim their radar profiles, and shift to a posture that cuts their signature. Live long enough to pick your fight. First intercept window opens, high and hard. SM-6 rides out. Shooters choose pairs to raise kill odds and avoid singletons that waste time. Salvo math gets real. Fire too much and you cheat the next wave. Fire too little and you let a killer through. The command team keeps a reserve and cross-cues neighbors, setting a lattice so no bearing stands naked. The attack doesn't stay in one lane. Cyber probes look for soft edges in networks. GPS spoofing blooms, trying to smear position fixes. Small drones buzz the periphery, cluttering radars and stealing watchstanders' eyes. Operators triage screens while chiefs pull damage control kits forward. It's not panic. It's shaping the fight so the hit, if it comes, lands on steel, not on mines. On deck, the soft spots matter. A near miss throws shards that walk across non-skid and chew tires. Arresting gear takes strain it wasn't meant for. Fuel lines run under your boots, one spark puts foam crews into a sprint. Elevator crowns are target magnets. One is down for safety checks. The next is shielded by a parked tractor. Sailors lay hose lines and stage portable extinguishers near the catwalk brakes. A yellow shirt points a jet to a cold corner. Small acts keep the runway breathing. Below the horizon, the quiet hunters work. Virginia's Shadow likely launch platforms, force escorts to shift, and make a second salvo riskier. They don't win the first minute. They shape the 5th and the 10th, pushing enemy ships to angles where Aegis has a better shot and Growlers can cover the merge. Pressure on the launcher is pressure off the deck. If the outer fence bites and Growlers dull the Seekers, you buy cycles. Not full tempo, measured turns. Jets trap, hot pump, and relaunch with reduced loads. It's ugly but it's life. That denies a headline and keeps options open. The deck talks with action, not volume. The clock doesn't care how you feel. The first minute sets speed. The next call sets the map. Do you flash back with strikes, hold for intel, or keep stacking defense while the sub's close? Your move signals more than intent, it sets who writes the story of this fight. Tempo wins wars. The first strike aims to choke it. Keep the deck breathing and the story stays in your favor. The danger isn't steel on steel, it's the chain of reactions that follows, the slide where restraint loses traction and each move invites 3 more. That's how a regional flashpoint widens. Allies feel the shock. Treaty lines tug. Japan, South Korea, Australia weigh risk, interests, and resolve, and the map gets crowded fast. Your first minute signals posture, not just survival. What would you prioritize, hard kill intercepts, electronic attack, or hunting launch platforms? Comment your choice below. Subscribe and join a community that seeks to understand the realities of modern conflict.